Hi, this is the making of Aleppo soap at a low temperature hot process. I am Tina Moenck, the author of the Soap Making Handbook Volume 1 and the creator of the e-course Masterclass Advanced Soap Formulations. Now, I wanted to do this as a low temperature hot process, so I'm cooking with 38% water. I added sodium lactate at 1 teaspoon per pound of oil, and I started the cook at about 140 degrees Fahrenheit. And this never got hotter than about 160 through the whole thing. But after I added the lye in, I always stir a little bit, and then I will stick blend. But I wanted to keep this as traditional as I could with the Aleppo, so I did 27% laurel berry oil, and then the rest was olive oil. And I know traditionally it's around 30%. I think some people have gone higher to 35% laurel berry oil, but you can do this at different percents. I've seen it all the way down to 15 or 20% even that people have used the laurel berry oil. And it is a little bit of a pricier oil, so that can affect how much you use it at and how much you want to try to use it at. Because I only used a pound of it in this recipe, and then all the rest of it was olive oil. But traditionally, this is how it's made. It doesn't have any scents, and they do it hot process. And there is a long cure associated with Aleppo soap, and it's just because it's all liquid oil. So that's why I wanted to try doing the low temperature hot process. I wanted to see how this would work. And also, there are a lot of new people in my Facebook group, the Soap Making and Business Coaching one. And I've seen a lot of people hesitant to try hot process soap, so I wanted to take this down even to a lower temperature, even than what I did in the beginner hot process video, which was about 160 to 170. So this one was 140 degrees to 160 degrees. And I was curious to see how this would go, what I would need to do if it was going to separate, because every recipe cooks differently, so you're just going to have to kind of keep an eye on it and see how it goes. And I still don't recommend doing a cook longer than 30 minutes. I think any longer than that you're going to be overcooking the soap, and then you could end up with soap chunks as well too. But do keep in mind, if you cook at lower temperatures, you are going to need that full water amount to get to gel stage, and quicker too. It's just the water amount affects how your soap gels when you're cooking it. So if you're going to be cooking with a water discount like I did in the Pina Colada video, that was about 25% water, and that was cooking at 200 degrees. So here I'm doing the 38% water, and I am cooking really low. So yeah, I never got a volcano with this, but every recipe cooks differently, and especially at different temperatures, and this took about 25 minutes. And I sped the video up too, because there really wasn't a whole lot to see in this besides me just coming back and stirring. And if you've watched my other videos, you know that I stir a lot. And if you are brand new to soap making, please watch my life safety video and my beginner videos as well for a lot more information and tips. But the laurel berry oil is said to have a lot of properties and a lot of benefits to it, and so I'm really curious to see how I like this soap. But it's going to be a while before I actually get to start using it. But I wanted to see the difference between doing this hot process with some sodium lactate. There's other people in the group that have done this cold process, so it'll be interesting to compare and see the differences in the cure time and things like that. The laurel berry oil does contain a little bit of lauric acid, which adds cleansing instead of doing like a straight, like an olive oil castile. So you're getting a little bit more cleansing action than you would if it was just straight olive oil. But I always stir throughout my hot process cooks, because I want to make sure that heat gets incorporated evenly, and I don't want to worry about hot spots or overcooked soap or soap chunks. So I do stir a lot, and I am not one that likes to use plastic plastic wrap on top either, so I just use the lid. But you can do this however you want to do it, and I'm cooking on with my crock pot on low, so I think I did adjust it a few times throughout the cook to come up or down, but you just have to kind of watch it and see where you want to be temperature wise, because I wanted to keep this under 160. I wanted to see how it would behave and how it would cook and what it would do. So, but if you have any questions, please leave me them in the comments, or you can ask in the group, whatever you want to do. But this, since it did take a little bit longer, it's a little bit different for me. I'm so used to cooking it hot and fast. It's almost like an oatmeal consistency here. It's so much different than what I'm used to. I've never cooked with, never used the laurel berry oil before either, so this was new for me to try. Yeah, so if you guys have, tried this and let me know your experiences with it too, that would be great. I'd like to see what you've created with it and some of the different recipes that you have tried it all with it, if you combined it with other oils, and just whatever you've done with it. I'd really like to see. If you want to post in the group or leave your comments below, that would be great. But throughout the cook, I leave the lid on, try to help keep the moisture stay in as much as possible, and then I also I stir like a lot, like I mentioned before. But here, I mean, it finally started to do something, so it was starting to cook a little bit on the sides. The cook was just really interesting. I mean, it didn't do hardly anything except it would cook, and it didn't really. It started to separate a little bit, so I do stick blend it here in a little bit, but I was just really surprised at how it didn't change much at all. It was more like a oatmeal consistency. Then it went to a little bit of applesauce and separated it just a little tiny bit, but then didn't do much else than that. So I just left the lid on and kept coming back and stirring off and on. And I don't ever go anywhere. I don't walk away from my hot process soaps, and I don't recommend people do. Even though this didn't volcano, you never know if it might happen. So you just want to make sure that you keep an eye on it. And I do like the whisk a lot when I stir. And here I wanted to stick blend just a little bit to see what it would do, and it still didn't even volcano on me. So, I always tell people to, do hot process how you want to, what you're comfortable with. And I just want to do stick blend a little bit to see, if I could get it to speed up a little bit and just to see what it do. I was just playing around with this to kind of see how it would behave and react with things at this low temp. But the stick blender did bring it back together, and then it got really thick after that. So this was in no way a fluid hot process, but so it was just a total experiment for me to see what different things would do to it. So So yeah, I kept coming back, and I even tested at one point with the phenolphthalein to see if it was done. And so you can see that it's gelling here, and the consistency is really, it's changed. The color has changed here. Yeah, I didn't want to add any other additives to the soap. I just wanted to keep it as close to, just plain as possible. But it's actually done at this point, so I am taking it out of the base, let it sit on the counter, and it's still about 160, 160 degrees there. But I did let it sit for a couple minutes just to make sure that it was gonna, finish saponifying, and then I just poured it into the mold, and I didn't do anything special with it at all. I just wanted this to be a plain soap. No, but anytime you do hot process, or any soaps really, but you want to make sure that you bang down your mold so that you don't end up with air pockets in the soap. Now, after I finished putting it in the mold, I put it in the refrigerator, and I let it sit in the refrigerator overnight. Normally my hot process soaps go in for a few hours and then I cut, but since this was all liquid oils, I let it sit in there overnight, and then I cut it in the morning. And then I did clean up the bars. I beveled them and planed them just to make them look nice, and smoothed them out a little bit. They turned out really nice. I really like how they look. Thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. And you can also join my Facebook group if you haven't, Soap Making and Business Coaching. And also you can follow me on Instagram and like my Facebook pages. Thank you so much.